Good morning, everybody. Greg Miller. Islanders from Corpus Christi have made their way in the Nacogdoches. Battle of Unbeatens tonight, ESPN3, kind of the showcase in the Southland Conference. And this is our first opponent interview this year, and I'm glad to have Ivy Baresh with me along. Thanks, Ivy, for being on the chat.
Thanks for coming to talk to me.
Sure. Okay, so one of the things that I just recently realized about you is that you are the only Islander in history with 1,000 kills and 1,000 digs in your career. And I had to look up whether or not we'd had anybody at SFA do that. We have. But that is an amazing accomplishment. I mean, what do you, does that give you a sense of pride to know, hey, that's about at the top of a stat list that you could possibly get?
Yeah, it made me feel pretty good seeing that on the website and stuff. But, I mean, I can't get those kills without a good set nor a good first touch. So, I mean, everything comes back to my team, and we all got to do it together. So, it was fun.
So, you know, clearly to be a player that can accomplish both of those tallies, as you have most of your career played all the way around 6 rotations, I mean, you know, players who are usually listed as hitters will say they love to hit. But in your mind, love to hit, love to dig, which one's kind of your favorite?
I like to hit. I like to score. It's fun just being able to go out there and kind of see whatever shot I want to hit and kind of frustrate the other team a little bit and then have my teammates come up and just kind of cheer. So I think hitting definitely.
Now, last year, correct me if I'm wrong, there were times when Coach Greystone kind of going through different things on the back row. You actually wore the libero jersey a couple times last year, if I remember right. You know, talk to us about what that was like, where you know, last year with Brink and Phelps kind of really on the front line, kind of both, you know, big free swingers that are strong, Tony kind of used you in a different way than he had used you in times before, and that kind of to stabilize that back row. What was that like? Did that feel like it was sacrificial on your part to do that? Or kind of take us through what that was like in terms of actually handling back row responsibilities more?
I mean, just like hitting, I love back row, like being able to like dig a really hard hit coming at you. But I think it was just to sharpen some skills, some defensive skills, get my passing back on point. And the hitters definitely, obviously held their own. They're great. You know, All-American Brianna Brink and Ashley did incredible too. So it was just a good balance.
Now, one thing I've noticed through the years when I've watched you play, in fact, the lead story on the Islanders volleyball website right now has got your photo on it. You have habitually used passing sleeves. Right? I mean, talk to me about that, because you don't see a whole lot of folks do that. Is that something that you've always done through your high school and club career? Talk to me about, does that give you a feeling of stability?
Yeah, it's an overall like cushioning effect almost, so you feel like you're in more control. Like, I mean, a lot of it, Kate Olivera has like 6 pairs, and they're all just standing up in her locker. It's almost gross, but like, I mean, we always had to wear them. Like, I mean, it's just a sense of like balance and control.
Is that something you've probably had a chance through camps or to work with young girls, coach a little small team here with just beginners? Is that something as you talk to young girls about whether or not you recommend something like that to them? Because for them it might just be, you know, a fashion accessory. For you, you're really talking about it adding something the way you play. Is that something you've recommended to the younger players too? I've
never really recommended to the younger players. I think it's good to play without them at first, so you know that you can control the ball without some extra help. And then if it's necessary, eventually getting the passing bands is good.
Take me back to the time you're from Arlington. I'll be headed right through your neck of the woods tomorrow. And in fact, you went to Arlington Martin, and you know, Jacks fans know about Maddie Hanlon, great libero here. You probably intersected paths with her. She was from Arlington Martin. Talk to me about the process. Go back to recruiting days. What was it about coming to Corpus Christi that made in your mind trip, yes, this is where I want to play college volleyball?
Initially, when Tony came up to me in the tournament, he was always super nice and friendly, and that was nice to be able to talk to someone pretty easy. And then literally I'm pulling up to campus, and I'm like, I want to go here. I mean, it's beautiful. You get the ocean when you drive up to the campus, and everyone was super nice, and I just loved the whole feeling of it. I called my mom immediately after. I was like, okay, let's go here. Yeah.
You know, and if, of course, everybody who's from Corpus Christi knows this, but some of you that maybe haven't traveled there, the university is on an island. I mean, they wouldn't call themselves Islanders for no reason, but I mean, the university is legitimately on an island. That's pretty much what's on the island, right? Is the university?
It's the university, and then we have the naval base a little down further. But it's nice. It's like quaint that we're all together in one spot. It's not a 10-minute trek to another class, so that's even better because it's on hot days. It's not fun.
In the times I've been there, I've seen there are a lot of apartments. Do most of the students there, do most of the athletes there live right there on campus, or is there some contingent of the university that comes in from somewhere else in Corpus?
Well, usually volleyball girls will live on campus for 2 years, and we just got a new set of off-campus but on-campus apartment living called Momentum, and our sophomores on the team are living there, and they love it too. So it's more just kind of depending on what your coaches think, and a lot of people definitely live on campus their first year.
2 years ago, we had the Southland Conference volleyball tournament down there in Dugan Wellness Center, and I saw that on the calendar. I'm like, yeah, Corpus Christi, that's a great place to go. And it was so freaking cold. I mean, we got down there, and I don't know if you remember that or not, but I mean, it was absolutely brutal down there on that island. Are there any times you can remember during the 4 years you've been there as a student where that little island just kind of freaked you out? It's like the weather's coming in. It's like, get me out of here. Can you remember something like that?
I remember spring off season, we'd have weights or practice early in the morning, and we would be freezing, just running to the gym, all just covered up with our heads tucked down away from the wind, and we'd all just laugh on the way and get inside and be like, okay, we're safe.
With it being an island, clearly there's beach all around. Are any right there on the island by the campus? Are there any legitimate beach spots just that you can walk to right from the campus?
Yeah, you can walk down there definitely and kind of hang out. But a lot of people go out to J.P. Luby, which is just about like a 25-minute drive because it's more room to kind of hang out and it's not so on campus.
And of course, this is a natural place, and you guys have started a beach program there. Take me through that a little bit. I saw some photos of y'all had kind of an introductory tournament and things. Did you participate in terms of workouts back during the spring in terms of sort of a beach setup?
More so in the summer when we had the camps with Tony. It was a lot of fun to be able to work on the courts and get a feel for it and kind of shed some light on what the future of that will be. And I think it'll be awesome.
As I read on the website, that Tony talked about, that being your recruiting tool. That there are a lot of girls that would prefer or like the opportunity to play both. What do you see? What do you see as the big differences, though? What do you see in terms of training, in terms of strength? Is it possible for a girl to play beach and that kind of throw off an indoor game, or is it possible that an indoor game doesn't translate well to the beach? What do you kind of think in terms of just training for both sides?
Training is different just because obviously you're outdoors and not indoors, and the sand plays a pretty big factor in movement and trying to get around. I don't think it'll really hurt or hinder either or. I think just kind of getting back into the feel of being on the court rather than sand and kind of accommodating and getting back in the swing of things.
I didn't realize this at the beginning of the year, but as I kind of began to prepare for tonight and look over things, Brianna Brink is still with the team. We mentioned her earlier, one of the outstanding players in the Southland Conference while she was with you guys for 4 years. What's been her influence on you, just being a kind of a year ahead, both as a player and now clearly somebody you had to have had a lot of conversation with that watches you exclusively? What's Brianna's influence been like to you as you've been there?
She's influenced me definitely as a player to always remain confident and collected and calm, especially in games. I know she always just kind of composed herself and knew okay, well, I'm going to get the next point. It's okay. And so I think having that frame of mind of moving on to the next point and just, like I said, maintaining composure is definitely something she shed on me.
One of the things that the last several years that the Islanders have had strength in is at the setter position. When you first came in, Logan Bork, back during the time where Marissa Collins at UCA got all the accolades, but we had a lot of other good setters in the conference, and Logan was one of them. And then now you've got Kristen Nicholson, who is somebody I knew about even before she got there. I mean, she's got a lot of a buzz about her, I think, especially after having a good freshman year. What's the differences you see between Bork and Nicholson?
Bork was more vocal, I would say. She's just strong in what she had to say. And Kristen's definitely developing her voice. She's a sophomore, so sometimes it takes more time. But both of them are amazing, amazing setters, and I would not have picked anyone else in the conference to be able to set me or my team. One
of the things I'm definitely going to sit and talk to Coach Greystone about here in just 1 or 2 minutes is Kate Klepetka. Anybody who reads the blog knows that I'm a back row fanatic. Love back row defense. And, we've got one that we're proud of in O.J. Olsen here. but as I've talked to people between last year and this year, her name comes up a lot. What's your feeling about in terms of that stability that Klepeka has for y'all now in the back row? It seems like sometimes when you sort of really fix one piece of a puzzle, all the other pieces start to fall in place, and that's kind of an outsider's view of what's happening.
I would definitely agree. Like, I never have a doubt in my mind when we're playing defense that Kate's going to get whatever ball's going to come at her, and that's a really secure feeling, and celebrating with her has been awesome, and just overall, like you said, the big picture of the puzzle, it's beautiful so far.
Last year, conference tournament in Nacogdoches. Of course, this is always heartbreak for me to ever bring up after being a number one seed and being knocked out by home team. When we got there and I began to talk to other folks, there were a good number of people there that thought y'all were going to make a complete run. And I talked to a lot of people from other schools. Like, Corpus is a school to watch in this tournament. Did that sense of confidence roll over into this year? I mean, as you went into fall practices, was the mental mindset that this is a year where the expectations are to be in the Southland Conference tournament?
It's not only just rolled over, it's had this snowball effect where everything has just gotten bigger. Our confidence has escalated. Our play in general has gotten so much better than the years before. And I think a lot of us are just maintaining that confidence to know that we are here to win and here to push forward and succeed.
Fans, lots of good players tonight in this match on both sides, and this is one of the best ones right here. I've really enjoyed watching Ivy play in the 4 years she's been an Islander. Ivy Baresh, Texas A&M-Corpus Christi. Keep an eye on her tonight and all throughout the season. Ivy, thanks for being on the chat.
Thank you.